Greetings everybody, Maximus here, and frankly, I can't remember the last time we had one British Airways story, let alone two. But we have two juicy ones for you today, so it's your lucky day. So let's get right to it. Well, in our first story, a British Airways cabin crew member was arrested at London Heathrow Airport after colleagues couldn't seem to find the flight attendant, after he seemed to disappear into thin air literally. They finally found him, and whoo boy howdy did they. He was naked and dancing in a business class lavatory at 37,000 feet during a transatlantic flight at the end of May. The incident occurred on a San Francisco to London A380 flight, prompting an investigation into suspected drug use aboard by the obviously high, or I guess wasted would be a better word for the crew member dancing naked in the first-class crapper. The steward reportedly disappeared during meal service on the busy flight carrying 470 passengers and crew. Colleagues discovered his absence as they distributed meals throughout the cabin during the 10.5-hour journey across the Atlantic. The Airbus A380-800 was cruising at 37,000 feet when the in-flight crew began to search for him. Flight attendants initiated a sweep of the entire aircraft. The crew member failed to report for his assigned responsibilities while serving food and beverages, so, if he wasn't serving them, he was probably busy drinking them. But the crew searched the entire jumbo aircraft until the in-flight supervisor located the missing steward in the Club World cabin restroom. There he was found completely nude and dancing. However, there was no report of the music he was listening to. However, the discovery stunned the crew supervisor, who took immediate action. Flight attendants quickly clothed the steward using spare pajamas designated for first-class passengers, then escorted him to the premium cabin section where he was, quote, secured in a luxury seat for the remainder of the flight. British Airways management contacted authorities mid-flight, alerting police of the situation. Law enforcement officers met the Airbus A380 upon its arrival at Heathrow Airport at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. Police arrested the flight attendant immediately after landing. Medical personnel assisted the crew member, who required a wheelchair to disembark the aircraft because, of course he did. He received emergency medical attention as part of the airline's emergency response protocol. The remaining flight attendants were forced to work the entire journey without their scheduled breaks, redistributing responsibilities among themselves while maintaining service standards for hundreds of passengers. British Airways suspended the steward from duty pending the outcome of ongoing investigations. The airline confirmed the matter had been referred to police authorities and was being treated as a criminal investigation rather than an internal disciplinary matter. Oh, and here's a newsflash. Crew members suspect the flight attendant consumed drugs before or during the incident. One anonymous colleague even described the event as extraordinary, noting the steward appeared to be under the influence of substances while the aircraft was in the air. The worker characterized the behavior as dangerous and career-ending, highlighting the unprecedented nature of the episode. Flight crew members expressed concern about the safety implications of such behavior during commercial aviation operations. British Airways continues investigating the incident while the suspended employee awaits legal proceedings. And in our next story, no matter how you word it, it appears British Airways is over the whole TikTok flight attendant fad, as British Airways has rolled out strict new social media policies that bar cabin crew from sharing photos or videos taken in layover hotels, a move the airline says is intended to eliminate any risk of revealing sensitive crew lodging locations. The updated restrictions apply to high-profile international destinations, including the Maldives, Cape Town, and Singapore, and mark a significant escalation in the airline's ongoing effort to tighten social media activity among employees. According to British Airways, the growing capability of artificial intelligence to identify hotel locations from seemingly harmless social media posts has prompted this proactive crackdown. Advanced AI software can now analyze minute background details on photos such as decor, window views, or furniture to deduce specific locations, potentially putting crew privacy and safety at risk. As a result, the airline is no longer willing to leave any room for interpretation. However, unlike previous guidelines, which focus mainly on professional conduct during on-duty hours, this new policy extends into off-duty personal time. Crew members, including both pilots and cabin staff, are now required to delete any previously posted photos or videos taken at or near crew accommodations, even if those posts were shared privately to anyone for any reason. That means photos from hotel rooms, pool areas, lobbies, or even views from a hotel window are now strictly off limits. So now postings that were once popular among flight attendants, especially the pretty female kind and their followers, like get ready with me videos or outfit of the day snapshots featuring uniforms, are now explicitly banned by British Airways. Translation: do your social media influencer act on your own time, in your own clothes, on your own plane, because British Airways is over it. This updated rule builds on British Airways' earlier social media policy introduced in February of 2023, which prohibited employees from posting content while engaged in work-related duties. The initial policy targeted content such as crews posing in aircraft engines, sharing time-lapse footage from galleys, or revealing the location of hidden rest areas aboard the aircraft. At the time, the airline clarified that off-duty content, including photos taken in uniform, was still permitted, so long as it didn't interfere with safety or operational security. However, the new hotel photography ban goes far beyond previous restrictions, signaling a much more aggressive stance. But British Airways justifies the change by citing the importance of security, but the move places the airline at odds with social media policies at many other global carriers. While most airlines prohibit public disclosure of exact crew hotel names or addresses, a long-standing industry standard, few have gone so far as to enforce a blanket ban on all layover content. In fact, some airlines have recently begun relaxing their restrictions in response to changing social media norms and crew engagement. Qatar Airways, for example, once banned all social media content featuring uniformed crew, but has since softened its stance. That said, confidentiality around hotel locations is nothing new in the aviation world. While official details are kept under wraps, most frequent travelers and aviation fans can easily guess where crews are staying, especially in cities with limited hotel options for airline contracts. Despite this, British Airways is doubling down on secrecy, stating that even subtle clues could compromise crew safety, particularly in a digital environment where images can be scanned, tagged, and geolocated in mere seconds. But what makes the new policy especially controversial is its enforcement model. British Airways is requiring crew members to actively review and purge their past content, including anything that may have been posted in or around layover hotels, even on private accounts. That includes casual vacation-style photos, selfies, and any content taken inside crew transport vehicles. The implication is clear. Even content shared off-duty and out of uniform could result in disciplinary action if it inadvertently reveals a hotel location. This level of control over personal content raises questions about privacy and enforcement practicality. While most aviation social media policies focus on operational integrity and professional boundaries, British Airways is now extending its authority into crew members' personal lives during off hours. The scope of the policy is retroactive, location-sensitive, and privately enforced, and has led to concern among staff about how far the airline is willing to go to maintain its image and protect its information. As the boundaries between public content and private life blur in the age of social media, British Airways' approach stands as one of the most rigid among major international carriers. Whether this marks a new industry standard or triggers a broader conversation about employee privacy, well, that still remains to be seen. Well, now what are pretty girls with pouty lips that work for British Airways gonna do? I don't know, but stay tuned, because when I know, I'll let you know. And with that, that will wrap up our rare but occasional British Airways report. And as always, before you go, please let me know what you think. How will you now get your fix of BA babes on TikTok? Let me know down below. And until next time, as always, yeah, this is Maximus.